Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Monday, August 31st, 2015. In the Lynn-Body-Mind we have me, Ra, also Luce, Pan, and Glenn. In the Jamie Body-Mind we have Black Wolf and Garth. Other teammates in other size levels of the physical dimension, all of us in the physical dimension, all of us in the subatomic of the physical dimension to the way many of you are thinking of it. And with many players on the game board right now, it's especially important that we each be doing what's ours to do, making it better, not worse. So we're going to go with the awareness of our foundational intention and with the intention for each of us as individuals to be doing what's ours to do right now, in all dimensions right now, to manifest the divine plan, in other words, to trigger the awakening. The data showing very clearly what's needed is to provide a collective restart. And with that, it begins. I feel a lot like Pan right now.
That's true.
And I know that I'm supposed to give a report. I kind of feel like we're in a conference room or a meeting room or something, and we're all supposed to give reports. Maybe, I'm not sure. I know I'm supposed to give a report.
That's true.
My report has to do with the nature realms, obviously, and that the first team of nature realms presences that's been here for ballpark 24 hours is now has headed off with Paul there to help them understand the lay of the land.
That's true.
They're headed off to see if they can accomplish some headway on this project that we as the spirit world have not made any progress with.
That's true.
And they feel angry. But
yes,
anger can be motivation for
that's
action.
true.
So it's possible that this is okay.
Okay, for now.
For now.
That's true.
The point is not that this is going to be successful, but
That's
rather,
true.
as Ra was saying, has been saying this last week, these are steps that are necessary to take in order to reach success.
That's true.
And we see how the spirit world presences are already moving in behind these nature realms presences. How it looks to me is like the spirit world presences are kind of like a bank of clouds.
Yes.
And the nature realms presences look to me kind of like Mongol warriors riding horses with
Yes.
their curvy swords, and
That's
they're
true.
making a great shout, but there aren't very many Mongol warriors on the plain. However, behind them there's a roiling thundercloud that looks like really bad weather.
That's true.
And that's coming, and it's interesting because to me bad weather means nature realms, but I think in this case it's the spirit world presences that are coming in again for their second shot
That's
at
true.
making a change.
That's true.
And I see Paul there.
Black Wolf here. What Paul is doing looks like a wizard standing on a very tall point
Yes.
and directing storm clouds on both sides, and on one side is the storm cloud of the nature realms and on the other side is the storm cloud of the spirit world, and it looks almost like conducting the storm
It does.
in a
I
way
see that.
so that it flows effectively and doesn't back up.
It does look like conducting. The motions he's making look like conducting motions.
That's true.
And he's calling for other nature realms presences to get lined up, get ready, come
That's
on.
true.
It's like we got the first wave of spirit world beings in, and now we have the first wave of nature realms beings coming.
true.
And now we have the second wave of spirit world presences getting ready, and now let's get the second wave of nature realms beings ready.
That's true.
He's trying to make something happen. Go, Paul.
That's true.
Rock on.
And there's a sense of rhythm and a sense of timing.
I feel like I'm Ra again. Perhaps the point that's being made right now is that when we put too much attention on what someone else is doing and divert our attention from what we're supposed to be doing, we're not doing our part. And we
that's
see
true.
that what we're supposed to be doing is continuing to clear these foundational lies, these archetypal lies from the physical dimensions, from the nature realms, and from the spirit world.
That's true.
Reaching for higher and higher and higher and higher standards of truth and integrity, standards that have not yet been hit in any dimension.
That's
because
true.
what's needed in order to provide a collective restart requires more integrity, more truthfulness, more precision in thought, word, and deed than have as yet been achieved anywhere. So here, in these central pillar locations, it's very important for all of us to be reaching more and more and more for truth. And
That's true.
we see how running these cables of these kind of like subway cars that are carting out the lies, that's an important contribution. And loading the cases on to the cars, that's an important contribution.
That's true.
And that each of us has a part in this. And Luce is doing something else, but it doesn't feel...
No, it's off track right now.
Yeah, Luce, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. It seems to be something electrical, like connecting two wires and completing a circuit.
Yes,
or
and he's
like
saying
that.
something like, this looks like a second grader science experiment.
Right, well...
It still needs to be
Still
done.
needs to be done.
He's looking for excuses and not motivation.
Right.
Got it. Got it. So to look for motivation, how can I do this better?
I feel a little bit like Luce here, and I see how this is a pattern for me. I really do. I see this as a pattern, and I don't understand where it came from, because it wasn't a pattern that I've had for forever. And if my story is right, I haven't even really had it very long, but I could be wrong about that.
What was the error back when there were the list of names for Luce to check, and he didn't finish the list?
I felt like there was too much to do, and that I already knew how the assignment was going to turn out, and that there wasn't any point in carrying out the assignment. And I would like to say that, let the record show, I was correct, that none of
you
those
were right.
people did anything.
That's true.
But Asha said at the time, and the Lynn Life says now, same thing that Asha said then, is that's not the point. The point is to do what is ours to do. If we're given an assignment, to complete the assignment to the best of our abilities, to intend to excel.
That's true.
What do I know? I know that when Ra showed up sometime in the last year and began to mentor Asha through the process, that was one of the requirements he gave to her. In order for him to mentor her, she had to commit to intending to exceed expectations, to intend to excel.
That's true.
And there was a point in time where Ra himself said, basically, I see how crazy I've been by giving these most excellent rules to my students to follow, and I myself am not following them.
That's true.
And Ra at the time said, I see how I myself, Ra, need to intend to excel.
That's true.
I, Glenn, see that I have a pattern of not wanting to acknowledge my error patterns. I want to not acknowledge them. Could be something along the lines of, I've had such a good reputation for so long that I don't want to say, wait a minute, I think there might be a sticky spot under this wing, so to speak. I think I might have a dark spot under this box. I might have some kind of hidden flaw. I want for people to continue thinking of me well.
That's true.
And so I want to ignore the fact that there are hidden problems.
Oh, I can feel that. Well, that's an error pattern I think a lot of us share. My black wolf certainly have that.
Well, let's cart out these
Let's
boxes,
do it.
because one thing I have been learning this last several days is that what helps me get in shape is to carry these crates of lies up the stairs. And if I just keep using the exercise regimen with the intention of getting in shape, and I also intend to get these cases of lies onto those transport cars to get them out of here, that I can learn an awful lot just as I'm walking up the stairs carrying the crates of lies, because they smell.
That's true.
And I can learn what the lies are, and I can tell who's telling them.
That's true.
And it's shocking who's telling the lies, and I can tell whether the lies are intentional or unintentional. You can tell a lot after a while, so I wonder if Garth is starting to notice any of that.
It's possible he's starting to notice, but it hasn't yet started to create theories behind it.
It feels like there's a little bit of anger at Garth, coming from Garth, about I don't want to consider that these are all lies. And boy, oh boy, we all feel this way, because what we're having to confront over and over again is that the things that we learned in childhood were incorrect.
That's true.
And it feels scary to have to let go of those things that we believed were true, and they just aren't.
That's true.
This is why, for example, we continue to use words like sunrise and sunset, even though the sun is what's moving less,
That's
and
true.
that the earth is what's moving more. And so as we turn toward the sun, something is happening, but the sun isn't rising.
That's true.
The earth is turning toward it. Another word would be more helpful. To continue to use words like sunrise and sunset ignores the reality that this is a heliocentric solar system.
That's true.
And yet we continue to use those words,
That's true.
reinforcing the belief that the earth is at the center of the solar system, which is just insane, and yet we continue to use those words.
That's true.
Disconnect. I feel like I'm raw again.
Yes.
This points out something that our teachers have said to us over and over again about the importance of actually developing curiosity, actually intending to search for what actually is more truthful, and then more truthful, and yet more precisely truthful. How can we become more precisely truthful?
That's true.
It isn't easy.
No, it's really, really difficult.
Extremely difficult.
That's true.
What do I know? I know that searching for truth has got to be a part of what we're doing for each of us on this team, for each of us to actually intend to become more curious about what's actually going on, to intend to discover the truths. And as we do so, we are going to discover that much of what we think is incorrect.
That's true.
And that's okay. And how else are we going to get more precise in our thinking? To not view that as something gone wrong, but to view it as something gone right.
That's true.
You can do it.
Can do
Change an attitude. It's like something the Lynn-Body-Mind used to ask, and has for decades now, asking her teachers, those who are on the other side of the veil.
Tell
How
me
should
how
I
to
think about this? Yes. So intending to excel, intending to discover what's true, and looking for reasons to succeed rather than excuses to stop trying.
That's true.
Those are key success principles
That's true.
for any occupation, any
Endeavor.
for any endeavor.
That's true.